Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I'm Aulia Azka for Mathematics Education. Now, the content of the video are speeches about mathematics. I was given the task of changing the sound of the video with my choice. Let's check this out. "26%. On the national report part, the present tense you below for 12th grader for the subtraction in math. In America, we had everything as an exceptional country, but the 60% sound exceptional to you. Raise your hand if you think as the country we need to do way better than that. I'm with you. We all need math. For why so many kids confused by us? It is because only 26% of people are hardwired from that. Love 70% or not. After working with thousands of kids, I can tell you this is the case at all. Kids don't understand math because we're being teaching in a dehumanized subject. But if we make math human again, it would start make sense again. You are probably wondering, how is math in every human in the first place? So think about it. Math is a human language just like English, Spanish, and Chinese because it allows people to communicate with each other. Even in ancient time, people need the language of math to conduct trade, to build a monument, and to measure the land for farming. This idea of math, the language, isn't actually now. A great philosopher once said, "The law of nature are written in the language of mathematics." So you see, even Galileo agreed, isn't it? But somewhere along the line, we're taking the language of math with about the real world around us, and we abstract that beyond this recognition. And that's why kids get confused. Let me show you what I mean. We see the third grade California math standard, and people make sense when 8 years old. I understand the friction 1 over b as the quantity formed by one part when a whole is partitioned into b equal parts. I understand a fraction a over b as the quantity formed by a part of size 1 over b. And if you give this description to you will be reaction like this to a math expert, this standard makes sense. But to a kid, is absolute torture. I tell this example especially because of the fraction are the foundational to algebra, trigonometry, and even calculus. So kids don't understand fraction in the elementary middle school because it had a half-road way to head them in high school. But there's a way to make subtraction simple and easy for kids to understand. Yes, just remember the math is the language and use that to fear the match. For example, when I teach first grader how to add the subtraction, I start with the apple plus lesson. For saya, one apple plus one apple, and people often say two with the partly correct. Half them include the word as well as the myth of the language. Just not two, it's two apples. Next is 3 pencils plus 3 pencils. You all know the pencils plus pencils is this pencil. So everyone, how many pencils? 5 pencils. 5 pencils is right, and the key is you can code the word. I tried to submit with my 5 years old niece in month. After this 8 pencils and have what 4 billion plus 1 billion. And my own overhead in this distance is called, since it I recorded this in the kindergarten, how is it supposed to know 4 billion plus 1 billion? I'm done it. My niece finished the counting, looks up and says, 5 billion? And I say, that's right, it's 5 billion. My aunt stood ahead on that because he didn't expect from the 5 year. But all you have to do is to take a language approach and let become it is and easy to understand. Then I asked her a question that kindergartner definitely not supposed to know. Plus 1/3 plus 1/3. And she immediately answered 3/3. Such as you are wondering, how can I possibly know that when she doesn't know the numerator denominator yet? You see, she wasn't thinking about numerator and denominator. She solved the problem this way, and she used one apple plus one apple as her analogy to understand one third plus one third. So even a the gardener can ask subtraction. You better believe that every third grader can do it as well. Just for fun, I asked her an algebraic question. What's 7x squared plus 2x squared? And then 5-year correct answer, 9x squared. And she did any exponent rules to figure that it out. So when the people say that we are either aware or not, is math is a human language, so we have all the ability to understand this. We need to take a language approach to math urgently because too many kids are lost and their assignment about math, and it doesn't have to be that way. I worked with an angry first high school student, one who couldn't pass out the algebra because he only knew 44% of the multiplication task. I have told her that she account for ways knowing the 44% of the alphabet hold me back. She couldn't pass her own public relation, and she had no confidence in that. As the result, this teenager had confidence in herself. I told her, I will have to start with the multiplication, because once you know all of you have with the part, everything gets easier and they will be having a flashback everywhere in Disneyland. What thing? And she said okay. But she systematically learned the timetable in 4 weeks, and yes, even a multiplication has the language in better than that. You'll be surprised how many kids don't realize 7 times 3 can be spelled out as 7 times 3. We just mean 3 7 times, just like that. So when the kids gives way, they quickly realize that the repetition is slow and inconvenient. So they clap the memorize that 3 7 times all the way to 21. The first teenager who outreacts to dropping out, becoming fluent and confident in multiplication with the game changer, because for the first time we can focus on the problem solving instead of counting on the finger. I knew she's at the corner when she figured out that 2 years currently at $4,500 a month who calls you $10,068, and she's looking at me disapprovingly and said it's a polystock. That's my problem. But she was giving a myself problems at the restaurant to adult. As an educator, it's my duty to challenge kids to be tirely you with this challenge. Our current is stuck at 26% subtraction, and I challenge you to pass the number higher. This is important because mathematical thinking is not built young mind, but our kids needed to imagine and develop the future. Meeting this challenge can be as simple as apple plus apple. It insists that we teach math the human language, and we will get this sooner rather than later. Thank you.
Thank you for watching the video. See you later. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.